What a matchup for the middleweight title.
Fun card, and obviously the main event is the fight that people have been waiting for a long time. Strickland looked incredible in his last performance, and, you know, how much security do you think we're going to need from Chimaev?
Quite a lot, Danny. You need to hire some extra people because Sean Strickland, as we know, the man's a maniac, but he deserves this shot.
You know, he goes back to Chechnya because somebody wants to buy him a G-Wagon. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll be that. I'll do it. I'll bend the knee for you, man. I like G-Wagons. I think the U.S. government kind of recommends, like, looks at him like a terrorist now. So now Chimaev's scared as shit. Like, oh, man, dude, I want to be I didn't want to go full tip. You, sir, are a whore. Doesn't matter how good of a fighter you are and will always be a.
You don't want to see any of these fight that little Chechen whore. You want to see the last American in the sport going that guy up, and that's what's going to happen.
What did Sean Strickland do to beat Khamzat Chimaev?
Anything I fucking want, dude. Anything I fucking want, dude. I'll bring a fucking go. You'll get distracted. Anything I fucking want.
I think it's a very intriguing fight. I love it. I don't mind seeing it. But for me, it's like, what happened to Nasruddin Imavov? It's almost like we just scrap that. You know,
the fact that these two are probably going to have one of the best pre-fight press conferences in recent UFC history is also definitely coming into play here. I would not be surprised if Paramount has a pair of scissors on the cord to Sean Strickland's microphone at this press conference, because I know for a fact he is going to go absolutely crazy at Khamzat Chimaev. He's been saying so much about him. Terrorist this, terrorist that. He's sure, the press conference may be better.
The belt's on the line and the entire middleweight division just got turned upside down. UFC 328 is official, and we're getting the fight that's been brewing in pure hatred for months. Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland for the middleweight title on May 9th in Newark, New Jersey. This isn't just another championship bout. This is personal warfare disguised as a sporting event, and the bad blood between these two has reached a boiling point that's about to explode in the octagon.
Man goes back to Chechnya. Sucks off a dictator. Sucks him off. He was collected on. And then he goes and sells a Bitcoin scam. Chimaev can fight, but sir, you are not a man. The world knows you as not a man. You will never be a man, you little Chechen.
Here's what makes this absolutely wild. The animosity between Chimaev and Strickland isn't manufactured for cameras or social media clicks. This is genuine, deep-seated hatred that goes back to their sparring sessions in the gym, and both fighters have completely different versions of what went down behind closed doors. Every interview, every social media post, every opportunity they get, they're taking vicious shots at each other. Strickland has been calling out Chimaev's mysterious injuries and questioning whether he's ducking fights. Meanwhile, Chimaev has been attacking Strickland's entire persona, calling his tough guy image completely fake and manufactured. The MMA community is eating this up because you can feel the authenticity of their mutual disgust.
Chimaev, guys, this is a fucking true story. And, you know, since we're going to talk about training, one day I made fun of a Chechnyan, and he misunderstood what I said. And it was more of like a compliment to the fighter, and he sent me a message talking shit. And I said, Chimaev, you misunderstood, but I will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Gloves or no gloves, turn up. And then, guess what? No show, no answer. We talked it out. He said, no, it's okay. We talked about it. Here's the thing about Chimaev. The man could fight. The man could fight. We all know that. He beat Usman to a decision. You know, Usman old, retired, but whatever. He still did it. But me and him are different. Chimaev could be right here. I will fight that man to the death right here, knowing I'm going to die. That ain't fucking Chimaev, dude.
But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Sean Strickland genuinely believes with total conviction that he's the only fighter in the entire middleweight division capable of defeating Khamzat Chimaev. And he's not being modest about it either. Strickland straight up calls this matchup the biggest fight the division has been waiting for, and his strategic analysis is fascinating. He's convinced that his particular fighting style can force Chimaev into a long, grinding, striking battle where Strickland thrives. His game plan is simple but brutal. Keep the fight standing, control the pace and rhythm, and win a decision by making Chimaev uncomfortable in extended exchanges. That's an incredibly bold prediction against someone with Chimaev's reputation for finishing fights early and violently.
This is one of those fights, though, where, man, if you win this, I think the storyline is right there for Khamzat. I very much get the sense that Khamzat would like to fight you.
Yeah, no, I mean, that'd be a big fight. You know, I think that, like,
I think I'm probably the only one that could beat Chimaev. I honestly think Fluffy's a better wrestler than Chimaev. Like, I think pace-wise, style-wise, I think over 5 rounds, Fluffy's probably a better, but then stand-up, I think Chimaev might take him to stand-up decision.
Now get this part. Khamzat Chimaev responds to all of Strickland's trash talk by basically brushing it off like it's nothing, which is classic Chimaev confidence. But his explanation for their beef is absolutely fascinating. According to Khamzat, all this tension and animosity stems from their past sparring sessions, and he claims Strickland is still carrying a grudge because Chimaev beat him up during those training rounds. Chimaev goes into detail about controlling the exchanges, dictating the pace, and successfully applying chokes and dominant positions throughout their gym wars. He emphasizes that actual witnesses saw him dominating these sessions, while Strickland was loudly claiming victory to anyone who would listen. These conflicting narratives about what happened in private training are adding massive psychological warfare to an already explosive situation.
I've obviously made the case for the Khamzat fight. I feel like it's probably one of the biggest fights in the division.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody who wants to see fucking two little go-fuckers go at it. You want to see a real fucking American fight this little Chechnyan fucking whore in American soil. This is the fight that needs to happen.
Yeah, I hate to spoil it for you. I don't think you're going to get on the White House card.
I mean, dude, who knows, dude? You know, I mean, you never know, dude. Maybe I got to go hang up on Epstein or some shit. I guarantee you, dude. I guarantee that Chimaev would go to a fucking island. That motherfucker's going all day long. That dirty little.
Here's the kicker, though. Chimaev didn't stop at just disputing the sparring stories. He went completely personal and brutal by attacking what he sees as Strickland's fake tough guy persona. Chimaev specifically called out Strickland's macho man image and his well-known controversial statements as completely phony and manufactured for attention. That's a direct assault on Strickland's entire public identity, and you know that's not sitting well with Sean, who's built his brand around being this brutally honest, no-filter fighter who says exactly what he thinks regardless of consequences. When you attack someone's core identity like that, especially in a sport where reputation and respect mean everything, you're crossing into dangerous territory that can't be walked back.
Let me ask you, you might have saw Sean Strickland this week. He had a few things to say. He said that you're terrible for the division and he's the only guy out there to beat you. What do you say to that?
What should I say? This guy always talks on my show. We'll see.
But you guys trained together and you choked him out a few times, right?
We did spar a lot before, but that's why he's so mad.
Fair enough. Well, this guy choked him out as well.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm talking a lot about Sean. I'm not.
Now Sean gonna talk about bad things as well, so...
Okay.
He will be mad.
Is this just part of the game now? I mean, I feel like everybody's talking about Khamzat now. It's the best way to get views.
He's the middleweight champion of the world, and that's the guy that people should want to fight. Good luck with that, bad.
But wait, it gets even more interesting when you look at what the experts are saying. Michael Bisping, the former middleweight champion who knows this division inside and out, admits he genuinely believes Sean deserves this title shot. Bisping points to Strickland's absolutely dominant performance against Anthony Hernandez as proof that he's earned his place in this fight. He also praises Strickland's microphone skills and ability to sell fights, which matters huge in this business. However, Bisping isn't naive about the challenge ahead. He describes Chimaev as an undefeated 15-0 force of nature who has steamrolled through everyone the UFC has put in front of him. Still, Bisping emphasizes that Strickland has controlled and dominated most of his opponents too, making this fight way more competitive than casual fans might realize.
Made him quit training. Witnesses in the audience. Where's Eric at? I made him quit. No, dude, we're doing positional grappling. And he fucking positional grappling. All right, start on my back. And I was like, first round, I let him choke me because it's like no one gives a. Let me tell you about this little. I'll tell you. When I walk into a gym, do you think that I go find the little weakest man? I say, let's spar. I say, no, I go find the biggest, baddest. I'm like, hey, I want to spar you. Every time Chimaev would walk in the gym, he would pick the smallest, lowest level pro and say, but oh, he looks like my opponent. You're beating the fuck out of it. And this is a true story. You guys could back me up, my team. He would pick the smallest guy. Chimaev's a fucking...
Now listen to this part because it gets absolutely wild. Daniel Cormier, the former two-division champion and one of the sharpest analytical minds in MMA, believes Chimaev could face serious legitimate challenges against this particular version of Strickland. DC makes a compelling point when he says that if the version of Strickland who showed up against Anthony Hernandez appears in the Chimaev fight, it's going to be much more difficult for Khamzat than people expect. Cormier reminds everyone that even Israel Adesanya, at the absolute peak of his striking power, struggled significantly with Strickland when they fought. He also notes that in Strickland's title fight against Dricus Bisping Sean, it seemed like Sean wasn't mentally locked in the way he usually is, suggesting he might have been distracted or not fully committed to his game plan that night.
Сказал, что на спарринге меня побил. Ну, там ребята были, все видели. И даже это видео там есть, как я его душил и бил. И с ним тоже есть такое дело. Выйти в клетку и посмотреть, кто сильнее.
Here's where the predictions get absolutely fascinating. Jorge Masvidal, who never holds back his opinions, challenges the dominant narrative around Chimaev being this unstoppable force. Masvidal points to specific evidence, referencing Chimaev's fight against Kamaru Usman, and emphasizing that Usman stepped in on extremely short notice, moving up in weight, and still managed to make it competitive. Masvidal argues this proves Chimaev's dominance might be overstated. But here's the shocking part. Masvidal doesn't just analyze the fight, he makes a bold pick, choosing Strickland over Chimaev. He's so confident that he jokes about betting heavily on the outcome, putting his money where his mouth is. Then Masvidal adds another wrinkle, suggesting that Chimaev might actually try to avoid this matchup entirely despite their extensive training history together.
Ask that guy who was beating him up every day in the gym, man. So, how many times I submit that guy? How many times I beat him up? He went to his coach, man. He went to his coach, please tell the guy, man, go easy, go easy. And the guy going with this different, he said, like, I went crazy with some guys who was going 166 or this shit, man. He's lying, man. He's lying. He trying to, like, he say, I'm man, I'm this, I'm that. I'm against the game. He's trying to be some macho, man. You're not macho, man. When I punch you hard, you went to your coach and said, please tell the guy, go easy, easy. Oh, fuck off, man. What are you talking about? I beat you up. Was running for me. I've been in his home, man. I've been in his gym. Nobody never comes to my gym and trying to beat me up, you know.
And get this, the strategic breakdown from Strickland's camp is absolutely brilliant. Eric Nixick, one of the most respected coaches in MMA, outlines their specific game plan to defeat Chimaev. The strategy centers on disrupting Khamzat's rhythm and creating doubt in his mind during the fight. Nixick explains that breaking up Chimaev's dangerous chain wrestling sequences, where he links takedown attempts together relentlessly, and forcing him to reset can seriously undermine his confidence. The game plan involves defending takedowns with absolute technique, and crucially, making Chimaev pay a physical price for each attempt. If you can stuff his takedowns and make him work extremely hard for every position, you gain psychological and physical control as the fight progresses.
Chimaev taking on for the middleweight title Sean Strickland. That is correct. Sean needs no nickname. He gets called lots of names by a lot of people because he's a controversial guy. But I'll tell you what, the way that he beat Alexander Fluffy Hernandez, the way that he put a beat down on him respectfully to Fluffy, the way that he finished him with that knee to the midsection, and then to be honest, how he handled himself on the microphone, right?
Fluffy's the definition of a man.
He deserves this shot. Of course, he lost the belt to Dricus du Plessis. How's he going to do against Khamzat Chimaev? I don't know about that. Khamzat Chimaev is ridiculous. What is he, 15-0? He's a force of nature. Of course, went to a decision with Dricus du Plessis, controlled him throughout the entirety of the fight. Yes, he was trying to finish it, but he did.
But hold up, there's drama brewing beyond just this title fight. Nasruddin Imavov has publicly accused Sean Strickland of actively avoiding a rematch with him, which is a serious allegation in this sport. Imavov argues that while Strickland appears ready to face Chimaev, he's definitely not prepared to face him again. Imavov was brutally direct, saying Strickland is ducking him and would rather get choked out by Chimaev because that's less embarrassing than what he claims would happen in their rematch. He's been asking the UFC to make this fight for 2 full years, even after his victory over Israel Adesanya proved he belonged at the elite level. Imavov predicts that with proper preparation and the right weight class, Strickland would end up unconscious on the canvas.
Matchup, Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland was asking for it after his win against Anthony Hernandez. Poor Nasruddin Imavov. No one cares, buddy. It is bad for Nasruddin Imavov because he is very deserving, but I guess they are taking into consideration the fact that Sean Strickland has a win over Nasty Namavov. You know, a lot of people were trashing Sean Strickland about his fighting ability before the Anthony Hernandez fight, including Nasty Namavov as well. He was trashing Strickland, saying this guy's complete trash, this guy's garbage. And I even put a tweet out saying, this guy beat you on a week's notice. You know, Strickland has some solid wins, and they're definitely coming into play.
So here's the reality of what we're looking at. This fight represents everything the middleweight division needs right now. Two genuine contenders with authentic beef fighting for the title in front of a massive crowd. The psychological warfare is already at maximum intensity, and we haven't even gotten to the face-offs yet. Whether you believe Strickland's version of their sparring sessions or Chimaev's account, whether you think Khamzat's injuries are legitimate or convenient excuses, one thing is absolutely certain. When these two step into that octagon on May 9th, years of built-up animosity are going to explode in the most violent way possible. So here's my question for you. Drop it in the comments. Do you think Strickland's striking and cardio can neutralize Chimaev's wrestling and finishing ability? Or is Khamzat going to prove why he's been avoided by so many top contenders? If this breakdown helped you understand the real story behind this massive fight, smash that like button, subscribe for more insider analysis, and hit the notification bell because this rivalry is about to reach levels we've never seen before.
To me, though he looked great in that DDP fight, I don't think he's all that good, man. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
I don't think so, man. I mean, look at the Usman fight. Usman was a 170-pounder. Took the fight in 11 days' notice. I thought Chimaev lost that fight.
What?
He won the first round. Look at the tape. He won the first round, lost the second and third, didn't get more takedowns. Got stuffed up and got punched in the face more. So I definitely thought Usman won. That's a 170-pounder that's coming off the couch. Now, I know he went up to 185 and did some big things, but I don't think he beats Strickland. I don't think so.
What? That is a wild take.
I'll bet.
Yo, that's a wild take.
I'm dumping the house on Strickland on that one.
That's a wild take.
I'm gonna put
really?
like 100 bands, and I don't even think Chimaev fights him because they've trained a lot.
This is a wild take.
You'll see my I'm fucking prize picks. I put up 100 bands of my own money. I'm gonna go whap. That's how confident I am. Strickland beats him.
Dude, that would be huge for his legacy if he beats a guy like Khamzat.
He beats him.
Holy shit, really?
It's a bad style for him. I've seen Sean go with good wrestlers over at American Top Team. Guys that wrestled their whole lives, All-Americans, national champions, and dude, this guy can wrestle defensively. Now, he never uses his wrestling in a fight, Strickland, but if you try to wrestle with him, you quickly find out this guy can wrestle back into me, and that costs a lot of energy. And Chimaev doesn't have the best guess.
Like, what are the aspects? Because it's kind of cool to get a chance to potentially be the first ones to beat Khamzat, especially when he's so dominant.
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, we're gonna have our work cut out for us, so we know that. But you know, really, like if we can shut some of that stuff down and make him doubt on any of these routes that he's on, especially when it comes to the ground game, he's very systematic. If we can disrupt some of those, the kind of the chain wrestling that he puts together and make him restart and put some doubt in his mind, I think that's where we have to be successful. And not only that, is when you defend those takedowns and if and when you defend them, making them pay for it, not, you know, telling them like, hey, if you're going to come in here, you're going to have to pay a price for that. So there's a lot of things I think that we can apply, and especially with our ideologies here at Extreme Couture and the way that we do our practices, I think it would make for.
I'm going to just tell you guys this right now. If Sean fights Khamzat, Sean wins. Let's see. What do you mean GG's? Chat, I will put $1 million on Sean Strickland. Oblivion clip? Send it to me, I will put $1 million on Sean Strickland when he fights Khamzat. Guys, who do you think is going to be on the White House card? Strickland fight, who do you think wins? Oh, Khamzat. I think Sean wins that.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I do. I want him to.
Really? You want him?
Well, Khamzat called me a bullshit gay, bro.
Bullshit gay?
He called me a gay, bullshit gay.
Why?
So his manager's manager, like a manager of his friend was like, yo, I want to do a stream with you. He's like, yo, you got to pay me like $1 million. I don't pay anyone money to get on streams. and then Khamzat was just like bullshit gay. So
I don't know, man. It's kind of weird what the UFC did with Chimaev. You brought a guy in that fights once a year who's like Madonna, who probably gets like, you know, I mean, how much money does that dictator give him on the table? Like, the guy doesn't need to fight, dude. He's best friends with a warlord. He's just gonna sit on that belt and wait until they force him to fight. But yeah, now the middleweight division, man, like from a pure money perspective, you would make more money not fighting for the belt than you would fighting for the belt. Say Chimaev goes and fights Nasruddin in 6 months. Well, let's say Chimaev sprains his pinky like he normally does. Now he takes another year off. So it's like you're off for 2 years. The belt isn't even like, it's not even in my brain anymore. I didn't even think about it. Like I'll make significantly more money just fighting. You say, hey, you want to wait a year and a half and like not fight, or just keep fighting and fighting good guys and maybe taking an L? I'll just go fight good guys, maybe take an L, and I'll triple my pay. Let's just say Fluffy beats me and like, you know, Fluffy want you for a title fight. Well, I mean, he's gonna fight Nasruddin in probably what, 6 months? Fights Nasruddin, say they have a hard fight, or even if they have an easy fight, he sprains his pinky toe, he's out for another 8 months. So like, Fluffy, you're not fighting for a year and a half if you want to wait for that. And I'm sure you would, but it's like, me personally, I don't give a give me my paycheck. I want to go fight. Every fight, dude, the guy's like, I broke my hand. Dude, I have an x-ray. Want to see it? Like, my shoulder is broken. It's like every time this guy fights, he has a mysterious...
There's a tweet, an interesting tweet that came out from your pal, Mr. Nasruddin Imavov. He says, my dream, bring me the clown for the crown.
Listen, dude, I've moved past you. You know, I beat you. Relax. Either you get the belt or I get the belt. Once you get the belt, I'll take it from you. Once I get the belt, you'll...
Called you right now, and they said, who do you want? I'll let you pick. It's Khamzat for the chance to hand that man his first loss and try to win the belt from him, or is it Sean Strickland? Because I just hate this guy.
Of course, if I hear you, Khamzat is a big challenge, you know, and he knows, and we know, and the UFC knows that I'm able to go to this fight, and I'm willing to go to this fight, whatever happens, because what I said since a lot of time, it's not right now, is the only thing I'm focusing on is the belt, not the owner of the belt. And that's not since Khamzat gets this belt that I said that, but I said that way before, because that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day is the belt around my waist. If the UFC call me tomorrow, with the hate I have in my heart, of course it will be Sean Strickland, you know, and then I can fight Khamzat or whatever, but what I have in my heart right now is to erase this defeat, this loss I had a few years